Hey, Google's back in St. Augustine, Florida. It's a little windy today. I'm sorry about that. We've been having this nor'easter. It's warm, but wind blowing off to the northeast. Not a lot of rain, just periodic showers. Sometimes we get these, it rains for 4 or 5 days straight. Anyway, I'm at the bridge, yes. The bridge over the St. Sebastian River right outside of downtown St. Augustine. We're waiting on the train, FEC train 107. It was raining, so I'm blessed that it stopped raining like right when I got out of the car. But stay tuned. Alright, you should be able to see the headlight. You got the ditch lights on too. But way up there, but it's nice, not too sunny. Those lights are bright. Anyway, we'll get it coming around this corner after the locomotives disappear behind those trees. So you don't have to sit here and wait. Wow, you can't see the train. Anyway, I'm being facetious. Yeah, we'll see in a minute. A second. Can't find the place that's out of the wind. The wind is picking up again. So, sorry for the noise, but that's the weather we're having today. There we go! Alright. Gotta hold the phone, the wind is blowing so strong. All business today. All business. combination Fort Lauderdale, Fort Pierce train. Or could it be one train from Miami and Fort Lauderdale, so they can stop at Fort Lauderdale and drop a bunch of, like the back half of this with the Crowley on, and then continue on to Miami, as you experienced railroaders would be able to imagine. There you go. Sorry about the post, but I was trying to use the post to block the wind. Anyway, there you go. My first FEC since I got back in St. Augustine. All right, Matty Gukas back in the saddle again. Anyway, here in Bayard, Florida. That's South Jacksonville for anybody who hasn't seen my previous videos. And we got high green for a northbound. And here comes the northbound. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. So there's the 206 and the 208. Those are the Converse or the returning trains for the 101, 105, 107. See all the Crowley. So this one's Fort Lauderdale. They both leave about the same time, if I remember correctly. One leaves Fort Lauderdale, one leaves Miami. It's just the right distance apart. And yeah, sometimes they combine trains. Fort Lauderdale, Fort Pierce, Miami, and Fort Pierce. The Fort Pierce train doesn't run by itself as often as you would think, considering it has its own place on the schedule. But it was a good move making that terminal. I was on board here when we did that. We had Walmart trailers on here for a long time. For the Walmart distribution center right there in Fort Pierce. I don't know if those are moving to JB Hunt containers now. That freight. Probably. That's who took it away from us. I mean, it's a long story. Alright, the rock train. Actually, that's scrap metal. My bad. There you go. Alright, Matty Gugas here off US 1. St. Augustine, the looks like the 107 left early.
Head southeast on US Route 1 South toward 9 Mile Road, International Golf Parkway.
Hey! See that crew member get out of the locomotive? I don't know what's going on. I got a horn salute. Sorry for the camera work. I'm trying to watch the locomotives and see what's going on. They're stopping. I'm gonna swing around. The conductor's getting out of the train. So what's probably most likely happened is
in a quarter mile, turn right onto 9 Mile Road, International Golf Parkway.
Second locomotive is not responding to the commands. Anyway, let's see what happens. No, the conductor got off. He's looking at the consist paperwork. You can zoom in, you can see he's got that the manifest in his hand. This is a different situation. I can walk down here and get a little closer if you don't mind the movement. Hey, how are you gonna get back? How are you gonna get back on? All right, we'll go down a little closer. Hey. All right, let's see what's going on. He's looks like the train's speeding up now. You gonna get picked up? You need a ride? The train is speeding up. Okay. I'm gonna ask him if he needs a ride. Hey man, are you getting picked up? I can give you a ride if you need one. I think out loud. Good, we'll play some music over that. Slowing down again. So he's gonna look at cars maybe? Massive train again. Yeah, the economy's in trouble. Never Trumpers. We'll never stop the garbage. All right. Well, he said he was busy. Of course he's busy, but I was going to offer him a ride to Jacksonville, but he didn't want to hear it. Anyway, some people you can talk to, you know? Some people you can't. Check. All right, so I'm not gonna film this whole thing. So he's obviously looking for something. Yeah, I could have saved him a ride. I mean, I could have saved him a walk. Oh well. Alright, so he's hailing somebody, but the crew car. Alright, so now we're stopped. We're blocking International Golf Parkway. Ooh, I turned back around. But there's the 107 for this Saturday night. Was it September 6th? Alright, Matty Googie's here at the crib. So we've been having a nor'easter all week. And the water's getting pushed up the inlets. No hurricane, though. This is what it would look like, though, before the hurricane arrives. And then, with the storm surge from the hurricane, the water goes up. Let me pan around. It went up all the way in there and killed all the air conditioners that were sitting on the ground back Hurricane Matthew. All the air conditioners are now sitting up on a crib, on a rack like that one. Anyway, stay tuned for the today's train. All right, Matty Googie's here near the county offices in St. Augustine. Trying to catch today's 105. It's running really late. Well, late for me because I've been out here for an hour already. I did get some lunch, but Still no high greens. Stay tuned. All right. I wore my sweet new hiking boots I got in Wyoming today for obvious reasons. All right, we got high green for the FEC 105. Stay tuned. I'm going to go down to the bridge. All right. Well, I came down to the bridge, but I think it's too windy. Let me pan up into the wind. And then you can see there's a big mass moving in. Been having these nor'easter. 4 or 5 days of rain. It's great. And no high green yet. I'm gonna go. Let me go down to my favorite spot at Midori Street. It'll be less windy in there. All right, I'm down here at Midori Street. I don't know why they don't fix this box. It's spelled Madeore, but they pronounce it Midori. I like the spot. It's secluded. Not many cars going by. Nice spot to park. Anyway, stay tuned. 105 should be right along. All right. I heard the first train horn. I'm starting to hear the train, but that thing could be way up north of the airport still with this northeast wind. And anyway, turn to the shirt. I love wearing this shirt because I get mostly women. I don't know. My first big time national politics experience was when Ted Kennedy was overwhelmingly reelected to the U.S. Senate. 1 year after he left a woman in a submerged car. I don't think Donald Trump left any women in submerged cars. At least that hasn't been alleged yet. So, anyway, stay tuned for the train. Sounded like it was the... Well, that's not West King Street, Palmer Street. But it sounds like West King Street because the wind's blowing so hard. All right, let's get the horn at West King. You can hear that train so well today with that wind blowing. But I am tucked in here, so you're not going to get the wind on the camera feed like you were going to get on the bridge. It would have been totally washed out. That I have a medical condition. That's all I'm going to say. Some crews play, some don't, but I always tip my hat. Or hat off. Hats off. Today's FEC 105.